Left hand. No one ever told me, like I said, how to use the left hand. Now, Strauss said the left hand should be kept in the waistcoat pocket. In other words, the vest pocket. He said a lot of things that he didn't do. But left hand is the expressive. Anybody left-handed here? Do you conduct right-handed or left-handed? You will come to Waynesburg University and you will conduct with your right hand or lose your left. Now, thank you. Okay. Here's the issue. You right-handers are really uncoordinated with your left hand. Us left-handers are really uncoordinated with our right hand. But when all your right hand is doing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And this hand's going, and you're doing this. I was going to switch hands. You're doing this as right-handers. So that's the advantage. Now at first, I used to conduct left-handed. I conducted left-handed for 7 years, teaching. And then I went to University of Northern Colorado to start my doctorate, and Mr. Corporon made me switch. And I couldn't chew gum and walk and conduct. I have to go. Because it was so difficult, because I was so used to it. Now I have to tell you a story about that. I taught in North Carolina for years, and I got accepted to Greeley, and our school was over with. College was, we get done early compared to public schools. Public school invited me to come guest conduct their band. I thought, I'll try it right-handed. They don't know me. I can try this. It was Candide Overture. Boom. How hard is that? So, there's one thing I didn't practice. Here's what I did. I did. Because, this is cool. Your hand's right there, the page is right there. I hadn't practiced page turns. And I've noticed young conductors will go, you can't, obviously you have to, that's coordination things you have to practice. Nice coordination exercise that I do is with cueing, I'll show you, but it's basically conducting 5-4-4 bars and cueing on every other beat as you repeat the measure. So cueing on 1 in the first measure, 2 in the second measure, 3 in the third measure, 4 in the fourth measure. So let's talk about the left hand. Left hand can make 3 shapes, L, C, O. It also can point. And there's different ways you can point. You can point with your palm sideways, you can point with your palm down. Which is more aggressive, this or this? Yep, shame on you, Jack Stamp. I told you not to do that to your sister. It was worth it. Palm can be up, can be down, can be sideways. Now, here's the thing about the palm of the left hand. If I'm conducting you and I do this to you, what will you do? Maybe levitate. Right? But that doesn't really mean anything. It's the same thing if I did this. So the key is, I know, it's like, oh, there's a Rice Krispie stuck there. The key is they have to see your palm. So if I do this, what does that mean? Crescendo. If I just do this, what does that mean? Support, sustain, right? If I do this, Diminuendo. If I do this, well, subito, subito. And see, that's going from C to L. Woo! But it's palm. If I went, yeah, you got 5 fingers. Way to go, Stamp. So, palm sideways, if I do this to you, what does that mean? It means I'm shaking with the wrong hand. My dad would be very upset. But if I move this from C to L, do this, then it supports a smooth, flowing piece. Point. The shame on you point. It's a great cue. Kevin, you didn't come in again like normal. There you go. Sorry, messed that up. Trying to be smart to my buddy Kevin. So I just did that exercise I was telling you about. See, I cued on 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a hot cue. I don't mean hot. I mean energized cue. Tap. If you're going to tap somebody on the shoulder versus you were going to touch them on the shoulder, what's the difference? Boy, for a trombone player, you're not bad. Tom? And he has 1 finger. And if I was going to touch you on the shoulder like I didn't want to scare you, I'd probably put my whole hand. Hey. But if I wanted to tap, that's a good cue. Versus that cue with all the fingers versus that cue, palm down, versus this cue, shame on you, snap the wrist. Then there's the scoop cue. It's the Monty Hall, come on down cue. And it's going from L to C. And it usually works on a pickup. So 1, 2, 3. You gather everything. My sister used to play jacks. Anybody know what that game is? She used to play, and you have to scoop them up. That's kind of the cue. It doesn't really work well this way. I know I'll do that if there's a big moment, a big chord, I'll do that. I'll open my hands like that. But that doesn't initiate a player as much as it represents the sound. This would initiate a player. Then we have the platter. The platter is, you guys don't think it's warm in here, do you? Okay. Good, I like to hear that. The platter is basically this. Arms parallel to the ground, hands out. Now, there are ways you can do that. You can unroll the platter. In other words, I'm in an O shape, and I go like this for your solo. I just open my hand. That's not a big cue, but what that is an invitation type cue. It's your solo. Oven door. When I went to Greeley, I live in Gene Akers. Do you remember Gene Aiken? Yeah. This is the jazz teacher there. Amazing jazz teacher, slumlord. And when I went into this place I was renting, because I mean, Colorado's a pretty far away from, that time I was in North Carolina. I didn't see the place. It looked like the Addams Family house. So I'm in there, and I walk into the kitchen, and the oven door is open. You know, oven doors, hinges, lay it this way. And I closed the oven door, and it went bam. And I closed it again, and went bam. So you couldn't use the oven. But then I thought, that's exactly the cue, where it starts up, and then you just oven door it down to parallel. So now we've talked about the palm up, palm down, palm sideways. We've talked about shame on you, tap, touch. We've talked about scoop, L to C. We've talked about platter unrolling. We've talked about oven door. Then there's the shovel cue. Sounds like a drink. Shovel cue is an oven door with a twist. In other words, you start the oven door palm down, and you come down like an escalator. Let me turn it this way. And as you come down, you turn your hand. So if I went, I mean, it's like you're digging into something. But you have to start here. and come down, and then make sure you're parallel. And if you can't just do this, and you can't do this, because ensembles don't have a perspective at stuff coming at them. That's why I have to do an escalator, because you can see it come down, and you can determine where it's going to stop. So the shovel, palms down, and as you come down, you twist. So you recoil it here, and then you twist. Chop, black belt in conducting. Work perfect for that. Fist, sometimes when something's tense, I'll grab the air. And again, that's kind of like this cue. You would think that this would tense up the players. And if you do it too much, it will. It looks like, "Argh." But if there's something dissonant and you roll your fingers into a fist, it's pretty dynamic. Questions so far? You just got to practice these.